Okay, guys, we are live. Do you want to do a little build-up show for the Brentford-Liverpool game, which, of course, is on Saturday at 5:30 at Brentford. So it should be a good game. Cannot wait. Keith should be joining me maybe in the next 10 minutes or so. Ivan couldn't make it, so Keith will pop in and say hello and give his thoughts on the game in a few minutes. But get your comments in, hit the like button, hit the subs button. You know what to do. I cannot wait. Huge game at the weekend, guys. We are flying at the moment. We are flying at the moment. Get your comments in. Say hello. Get your starting 11. Your prediction. I'm going to go in an early prediction, even before the starting 11, and I'm going to go for 2-0 to Liverpool. Brentford 0, Liverpool 2. That's my prediction. Klopp Talk TV in the house. Hopefully you are well, my friend. And just to let you know, I have a really exclusive interview. I just finished it about 20 minutes ago, which I will be uploading tomorrow on YouTube and probably Twitter, the way the premiere type of thing that they do, with The Farm, the 90s band, 80s, 90s band, The Farm, all together now. Peter Houghton, lead singer of The Farm, big Liverpool fan, of course. Big video coming out tomorrow. It's about 50 minutes long, so cannot wait for that. Check it out tomorrow. Dave talking to Peter Houghton from The Farm. What a band they were. Wow. Eamon Kelly in the house. Hello, fellow Reds. Hope it's all well. Hopefully you are well too. Helen Raybold, as usual. Hit those like buttons, guys. There's 8 people in. 8 likes there should be. As I say, we'll stay on for about a half an hour show or so. And hopefully Keith will pop in. I think he's just finishing his dinner. Tom Conley in the house. So keep your eyes and ears open. Your notifications on for that big interview with Peter Houghton from the 80s, 90s iconic band, The Farm. Groovy Train. All together now. Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Great lad, Peter Houghton. Great chat. Top notch. So that'll be out tomorrow. But today, I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool. Brighton. The Fortress Anfield in the house. Keep up the great work, lad. Another top LFC channel. Check it out. He's only new to YouTube. Brand new Liverpool channel. There's a lot of Liverpool channels out there, and they're all top notch, guys. They're all top notch. Get your starting 11s in. Get your scorelines in. As I say, I'm going to go 2-0. Early prediction. It's a 5:30 kickoff at Brentford. It won't be easy. Likes Ivan Toney up front. Pacey, powerful. They're open, though, Brentford. So I think if we go with them, we can get them. We can definitely get them. And what did you think of the midweek win? The midweek win, nice, young, youth experience. Caden Gordon, 16 years old. OMG. What a player he's going to be. Just keep his head on his shoulders, and he is going to be beautiful. Origi, revitalized, renewed. What do you think of that? Unbelievable. What do you think of that, guys? Origi, what a finish. Good header. Simicus, DHL delivery, postman, Pash, whatever you want to call him. What a ball in for Origi's header. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Eamon Kelly, great news, Dave. Looking forward to that interview. Good work. Love The Farm, says Amy. Yeah, top band. I'll tell you what, there's some great insights in there. He wrote the book, The Boot Room Boys, Shankly, the books. Check it out, the interview tomorrow. I'm going to drop it tomorrow. It's about 50 minutes long, guys. It's top notch. So here he is. He's in the green room. He's just finishing his champagne. It's Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter. Keito.
How's it going? How are you?
Right?
Sorry, mate.
No, you're all right. We're only 4 minutes in. I haven't even really started anything. Just ranting. How are you?
Late dinner. Good? Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, just like getting going. Like, everything's late today. Late today.
Listen, this will be a short and sweet. This will be a 20, 25-minute job. But Keith, what did you think midweek? Before we get into the Brentford build-up, it was a nice little mix of experience. I know the League Cup. Listen, it's not the top-notch cup that we all want to win and stuff, but it's probably the only competition that we can play the likes of Origi, the likes of Caden Gordon, the young lads that came on, Moxon, all these guys. What do you think of it midweek?
I thought it was really interesting when you looked at the kind of sides that everybody else put out. And there seemed to be a lot of strength out there. For a lot of the so-called big six sides, everybody kind of went fairly strong. And if they didn't go strong, the second tier team, there was very, very very little kind of. I thought we introduced some of our younger players and our kids quite well, and did a nice blend. I just didn't see that across there. So I don't know whether or not it's teams are looking at it to kind of look at and say, right, there might be an opportunity for some silverware here. So it's just really interesting. The City went big. United, all right, picked most of their second side, but they didn't really give youth a chance, as far as I could see. To be honest with you, there was very little, and they're supposed to have some really good kids coming through, and just didn't give any of them a chance. So I thought that was interesting to see. And Chelsea were very strong as well, So I just thought it was really interesting to take a look at that. I was delighted that we obviously gave some fringe players a chance, and then we gave all of our kids a chance, And to be honest with you, to a man, I thought they acquitted themselves very, very well. Apart from Ox, maybe who might have had a night to forget.
He's had a few of them. He's had a few of them recently, though, hasn't he? A few nights to forget.
I think he's a player who needs games. I don't think you can just bring him in and expect him to do a job. I think he's a real rhythm. He's a real rhythm player, as Klopp likes to say. He likes that. He needs rhythm. He needs games. The other player I think is very like that is Fabinho. To be honest with you, I think Fabinho always looks a little bit dodgy when he comes in from games. He needs a run of games just to get himself up to speed. And I think Ox is very much like that. And to be honest with you, I can't see us.
Will he get them though, Keith? He's not going to get them. He ain't going to get fucking a run of games. You know what I mean?
But everybody else I thought was really good. Obviously, you're going to see a couple of shaky moments. Got a couple of shaky moments from Conor Bradley. You would expect that. I thought when Tyler came on the second half, I thought he was the pick of the bunch from a kid's perspective.
He actually played the best, didn't he?
Yeah, just his maturity.
Didn't give the ball away.
No, crunching tackles, a couple of crunching tackles. Yeah. Didn't give the ball away. Good positioning, kept it simple. Moved the ball very well. So I thought he was the pick of the bunch in terms of his maturity. To be honest with you, just in terms of how he slotted in there, he looked like a natural six, played like a natural six. But otherwise, it was good. Yeah, it was good all round. Listen, I think you could have had tougher opponents. I think Norwich are going to struggle.
Norwich are in trouble already.
They're in trouble already.
They're favourites to go down. But listen, you still have to beat them. You have to go out and beat them. They had a few chances. I think Kelleher had a good game as well. Saved the penalty. He looked decent in goal. That was another good sign. But we'll move on from that because it was the League Cup, I know. But we just had to have a little delve in. But the other one is, I think,
it's nice as well for us to to not draw a decent side away from home in this next round. So
Preston away.
Yeah. Be nice to try and see us. It'd be lovely for us to get down. It'd be lovely for us to get the kids get a good run of games, to be honest with you. That would be nice. Get everyone get a good run of games in this competition, another couple of rounds in, and then see how we get on. But it all bodes well for everything else. It's really good, I suppose. It just kind of shows that some of the kids coming through are well capable of stepping up to the next level. It further enhances, I suppose, what we're doing at academy level, and it also kind of says, well, listen, in a couple of years' time, we could have it adds to our strength and depth across the entire team. So it's been great, hasn't it?
It's been really good. Listen, it's positive. It's positive.
A couple of injuries knocking about, but
we're going to talk about them now. So we'll switch to the one on Saturday at 5:30. Obviously, Brentford away. Now, I think Brentford sort of suit us. They're physical, but they're pacey. They do attack. They like attacking. They're an attacking side. So they're going to leave space for us. And we usually like teams that come on us. They won't sit back. You know what I mean? Especially at home. They'll be buzzing around like the bees, basically. So will there be a sting in the tail? That's the big one. So what I'm looking at the weekend, what do you think the weekend? Just see the Fortress Anfield here is going. I fancy 2-0 myself. I'm going for Alisson, Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fab, Hendo, Jones, Salah, Jota, Mane. I don't think I'd go for that team. Well, what do you think? I'd obviously go strong. I mean, it's all about the 3 points. But what do you think he'll do? He'll obviously go strong.
From a team perspective, I think they've been beaten by Brighton. Otherwise, they've done quite well. I think it's their only loss is Brighton, isn't it? This season?
Yeah.
Otherwise, a couple of draws knocking around, and then obviously the good scalp. They've got goals in them. no matter what way you look at it, they've got goals in them.
Ivan Toney, the guy
Ivan
up front,
Toney,
Ivan Toney's decent. Yeah,
they seem to get their fair share of penalties as well. Listen, they're going to be up for it. That's probably it's the first time you've got. I think you could almost take Arsenal out of the equation now in terms of consider them to be a top side. But I suppose it's the first time they're going to have a top side. Certainly a top 2-3 side to Brentford. It'll probably be rocking as it was for the first night. And they're going to be up and they're going to be at it and they're going to be interested and they're not going to give us an inch and they're going to press us high over the pitch. So I think it will be a night for calm heads and experience, to be honest with you. So I'd be amazed if he doesn't kind of look at experience first. So he's obviously given Matip a good rest now. I'd be amazed if he doesn't put
VVD and Matip.
I would say VVD and Matip. I think that's his choice, and that's
it is, yeah.
What
would you do with the other thing? What would you do with I mean, Tsimikas is, I tell you what, he has come on. And I mean, the amazing thing on Twitter is that last year Tsimikas was getting lashed out of it on Twitter and social media. And all of a sudden he's the darling because of some of his DHL deliveries into the box. Now, there was a good one the other night for Origi's header. And even his defending has got better, hasn't it? I mean, it's confidence as well.
It's a set piece, to be honest with you. It's set piece delivery as well, in terms of putting balls into the box. We've got a lot of joy out of it. Although he hasn't got the direct assist, it's been the kind of assist before the assist. He's putting the ball into the right areas. You can contrast them with certainly with Ox the other night, and he seems to be hitting the first man more often than not. Even contrasting with Milner the game before, and Milner had a couple of shaky ones where he's hitting the first man. They all seem to be in the right area. He's given everybody a chance. He's given defenders a chance to get up and not get a clean head on it. They're in the way, right? They're getting up and the ball is ricocheting to one of our lads, and they're putting it away. So I think his delivery has been phenomenal. I think he's done nothing wrong from a defensive perspective. He had a couple of ropey long range passes across the middle of the park that you wouldn't see Robinson making. There's probably a little bit of a mistake, there in him still. But it's tough. It's tough if he's contributing towards goals from set pieces. And he seems to be involved in most of them. It's a difficult call.
It's a nice call, though, for Klopp, isn't it?
It's a nice call,
We haven't had it, Keith. We haven't had that call for a few years now.
No, I know there's been a good bit of work, and there was some hiring done in relation to that in terms of our set piece play. So it's either that's kind of getting us our set piece goals, or it's just the quality of the delivery coming into the box. It's one or the other. So or a combination of both. So if it's playing against a good side, to be honest with you, obviously Robertson starts, to be honest with you. But it's just interesting. If we're going to have a lot of...
Would you start Robertson the weekend, yeah? Robertson, Trent, and then VVD, Matip, and Ali. Obviously.
Yeah, it's away from home. No matter what way you look at it, you're going into a bit of a cauldron of an environment. They're playing very well. They've only lost one game this season, a couple of draws, and beaten by a good Brighton side. To be honest with you, Brighton look like a good side this year, and only beaten 1-0. So I will be going strong. But obviously, then we've got a couple of big games coming up thereafter. So it is tricky.
I think it's important to go strong and then see where the land lies with about 20-25 to go, Keith. I mean, you can't start away from home. You can't start sluggish. You could let in a stupid goal and you're on the back foot. I mean, you've got to start strong. Put out your strong team. Start strong. Try to get the early goal. It helps, especially away from home. Calms the crowd down. If even keep it 0-0. You know what I mean? First 15-20 without even scoring. And then build from there. And I think the foundation for Liverpool is Matip, VVD is the big foundation for me.
Yeah,
Alisson as goal.
There's just some big games.
Robbo,
There's just some big games coming hot on the heels, isn't there? Of the Brentford match.
But they're all 3-pointers. And the other thing is midfield. I mean, Fabinho can't be left out in away games for me. He starts every bleeding game. Question is Henderson, can he play every game? Kate is injured again, so he misses out again. I mean, just unbelievable.
I thought that was interesting the other night because he obviously missed the ball and kicked the ground, and as soon as he did that, he put his arm up.
Oh.
So, and the only reason he was taken off, I believe, was a precaution. To be honest with you, more so than anything else. There's no real injury there.
I heard he was out the weekend. That's what I heard. Now I don't know. Maybe
he could be out the weekend. But whatever it is, he played on then for a little bit. It was just interesting because he's obviously just kicked the ground and his hand shot up straight away, as in, right, I'm done now. I'm after hurting myself, right? So I just think that's him, to be honest with you. I just think.
What three would you go? I mean, obviously Fabinho, you go Fabinho, Hendo, wait him home. You want that, Thiago's injured as well. He won't be there. So there's Thiago. Looks like Naby's a dew. Elliott's injured. So a little bit of injury starting to build up in the midfield.
Yeah, we've a couple of injuries. I don't think either of those injuries are.
They're not major injuries, but
they're not major injuries.
For this game, they won't be there.
Some of the games coming back up might just push some of the lads back through sooner rather than later. I'd have no issue with Jones. I'd have no issue with Jones. I'd have no issue with Jones. I'd put him in before, just on the balance
before
of what
I've
seen. I would.
Yeah.
Just because I just thought Ox gave the ball away. Just continue to give the ball away. Poor choices. Balls were behind lads. They were in front, too far in front of lads. The weight of the pass wasn't good enough. Now, listen, there's an argument there. You throw him back in again, to be honest with you, and just see what he's like with Jones coming on the second half. But I just thought Jones, anytime I've seen him come on this season now, he's looked like he's really interested. He's carried the ball well. Passing, hasn't lost it in possession. I'd certainly start him, to be honest with you. I think it's probably a good game for him. I think we'll have a lot of possession, a lot of the ball. They'll be looking to maybe nick something on the counter attack. They'll be looking for more luck than anything else, to be honest with you. Like, I think we're good enough to counter press anything that they bring to the table, to be honest with you. So I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it's a bad away game to have Curtis Jones playing. I think the back four should pick themselves. The only change I would have was Jones in, and then the three boys up front. I suppose the three boys come in. I mean, Salah's on fire. Mane, he's trying everything. Let's put it that way. Jota, I think Jota needs a goal just to calm him down. Obviously, Bobby. There's a hint Bobby might be on the bench the weekend, and he's training.
Yeah,
he's got the 2 sessions this week. I certainly saw him training today. So it's an option as well. To be honest with you, it's an option as well. I think he will probably start one of these three. One of the 2 big games after that. I think he'll start. To be honest with you, but
maybe
this might be a bit too soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of big games coming up. We just have to be careful with the players. The spine of the team is the most important thing for me. But away from the game as well, midweek, if you're obviously heard about it, the new Anfield Road End expansion got to go ahead. I think it starts next week.
Yeah.
Ready for a 23-24 season. So 2 years, extra 7,000 seats.
Up to
and we all know, it's up to 6. I think it'd be the 3rd biggest stadium, something like that in England. But anyway, that's just good news for Reds fans, isn't it?
Of course it is, because it'll be filled. That's the thing. It'll be 61,000 filled every week. So there'll be no issue in terms of getting bums and seats there, to be honest with you. Hopefully it might make things a little bit easier for us trying to get tickets.
We know how hard it is to get tickets to Anfield. And I mean, if you have an extra 7,000 tickets, once they're not corporate tickets, it makes it easier for everybody. Exactly.
Yeah.
But do you know what, as well, I think he would an unbelievable game midweek. He'd be on the bench this week because he can't play 2 games in a row like the way. Your man Milner, he just keeps going, doesn't he? He's fucking unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant.
Like Eamon Kelly saying there, he thinks he's a show. I think he ran so much I think he ran the most.
Do you know what? Listen, you're always going to get that. But listen, they've obviously that's been sprung on them at the last minute, right? So, obviously Trent's being sick the morning of the game. They had a game plan in place, and then Milner's thrown in at the last minute. And the way he handles Zaha, as well as getting around the park, as well as putting in nearly 11 kilometers worth of running and contributing to us all kind of going forward. But he didn't give Zaha an inch. He was up his fucking arse from the get-go. Didn't allow him to get set. Didn't allow him to get turned. All right, gave away a couple of free kicks or whatever else it was, but was just all over him. All over him. Didn't give him an inch.
Rash. It was like a rash.
Just never gave him a chance to get up any head of speed whatsoever. So it was phenomenal. In his least favorite position. He hates right back. Fucking hates right back. And
he'd play anywhere, Keith. He'd play in goal for
could do, yeah, he could do. But look at him go, to be honest with you. There's a couple of comments there in terms of a shout for
Milner.
Yeah, listen, to be honest with you, he can just slot in there and do anything, to be honest with you, play anywhere across. Anywhere. If he could play, he could certainly play midfield in one of those games, to be honest with you. He's probably due a bit of a rest. Can't see him playing against Brentford, to be honest with you, but he'll certainly be on the bench, and he could feature against one of the some of the other couple of big games that we have coming up.
But as you say, I mean, the games are going to come thick and fast now as we come into winter, the end of autumn into winter. I mean, you've got the City game, I think it's October 3rd. That's a huge pivotal game for us. You know, it's a must not lose game anyway. But if you win it, it really gives you confidence. I remember the season we won the league. Remember we beat them 3-0 at Anfield.
Yeah,
it was November as well. It was around the same time. And it was
I think that they play Chelsea the weekend, right? So now if they beat, you know, if they're beaten by Chelsea the weekend, there's no reason why Chelsea seem to have the Indian sign over them now at the moment. But if they're beaten by Chelsea, they could find themselves outside the top 6, you know, with the first six games played. And I think it's a long, long road for them to come back. Things don't feel right there, to be honest with you, for a number of reasons. But if they're beaten the weekend, I think it's a long, long way back for them, to be honest with you. Likewise, if they win the weekend, it'd be interesting to see how Chelsea react there, having been beaten by another side. But I think it's a long, long way back for City winning this league if they're beaten the weekend, to be honest with you. If you typically don't do it, just with the teams that are out there, you know, I can't see Chelsea losing that amount of points, or us losing that amount of points, to be honest with you. Taking into consideration we have to play each other again, you know, as well as everybody else and all the other tough games that are out there. I just think it's a long, long road if they don't get a result the weekend.
You have to remember, Keith, though, last year, was it 4-7 games? They started badly last season and they just took off.
They weren't against anything last year, Dave. You know, as soon as we went to shit, there was no real competition. Chelsea were building. United didn't really put up much of a challenge, to be honest with you. Yeah, they won. They won absolutely. They won on a great run. They're not going to do that run again this year. They're not going to do that run again.
You know what helped them? You know what helped them last year? No fans. No fans in the ground. So it's like a home game for every fucking game. That was it.
Yeah. Us and Alisson helped them out no end last year.
Well, that's true as well. Yeah. You're not going to get that look. And hopefully we're not going to get that bad look like we did last season. Yeah. No, I'm confident right now, sitting here on the 23rd of September. This is obviously live, so we can always go back in it. I'm confident we're going to have a really good season. Just got to keep the spine fit. I'm going to leave it there, Keith, because it was a short and sweet pod. Thank you very much for coming on.
Just no problem. Sorry I was late again.
When I knock off, you don't knock off. I wanted to say something to you before you go. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for coming into the comments. Absolutely lovely. Hit the like button.
Thanks, lads.
And as I say, I have a 50, I think it was over 50 minutes chatting to Peter Houghton from the farm. All together now. So all together tomorrow, it's pre-recorded, so it's not going to be live. So tomorrow I'll drop that. Get your notifications on. It's a top podcast. Guys, stay safe. Liverpool to beat Brighton weekend.
Talk to you soon. Take care.